Welcome to Laotong Publishing, where stories are rooted in faith, resilience, and second chances. You're listening to The Widow's Vineyard, a grace and love after 50 original series about healing, hope, and finding love later in life. If this story touches your heart, we'd be honored to have you like, subscribe, and share it with someone who still believes in hope. Episode 5: When the Storm Breaks. That night, chicken spaghetti leftovers were tucked neatly into the fridge, and the house had gone still. Clara lit a candle in the kitchen, lavender, one of her favorites, and opened the journal to the first blank page. She hesitated, then picked up her pen, and started to write. I don't know what it is about folding chairs and casserole tables, Lord, but something in me wilts when I walk into that fellowship hall. It's not the food. Lord knows, that was the best chicken spaghetti I've made in years. It's not the women, not really. They were kind enough, smiling, saying all the right words. It's me. It's the way I sit there and feel like a crooked puzzle piece, like I used to fit in that space, but someone changed the picture and forgot to tell me. They talk about grandbabies and retirements and home renovations, and I just nod, smile, chew slow. I used to have a life that made sense, Lord, a rhythm, a husband beside me, a job to do, a list to check off, a reason to bake for the church bulletin board committee. I knew who I was and where I belonged. Now I'm the widow with dirt under her nails and grape leaves in her hair, sitting at the edge of a table with women who still wear matching purses and lipstick and seem to know exactly where their lives are going. And I know it's not fair. I know some of them are hurting too. I know I'm looking at their highlight reel while I'm dragging around behind-the-scenes footage. But still, I felt small today, smaller than I expected to. And that's hard to admit. I came home and tried to pray, but all I could say was, "Help me, Lord." That was it. Just those 3 words, over and over. And even now, even writing this, I feel silly. But I know you hear me. I know you're here. I know I still have a place at your table, even when I can't find mine in a fellowship hall full of folding tables lined with foil pans, polite whispers, and church lady gossip. So I'm holding on to that tonight. Thank you for seeing me, even here, even now. Clara. She set the pen down and let the silence settle around her. It wasn't healing. Not yet. But it was movement. And tonight, that was enough. She stood to wash a few dishes when the first rumble rolled in from the west. Thunder, low and long, like a warning. Clara paused at the window. The sky had gone bruised and heavy. The kind of gray that promised damage, not mercy. She flipped off the lights and stepped onto the porch. The wind had picked up. Leaves were skittering across the yard, and the vines. Oh, Lord, the vines! She could hear them rustling in panic. Fences creaked in protest. The first fat drops of rain splattered across the porch steps. Lord, she whispered, please don't let this be worse than it looks. The storm didn't rage, it prowled. Rain fell sideways. The wind howled through the vineyard like it knew exactly where to find the weak spots. A tree limb snapped in the distance. Power flickered and died. Clara sat in the dark, curled in her uncle's chair, her Bible in her lap, and fear clenching her heart like a closed fist. She thought she'd feel braver by now. Morning came damp and bruised. The vineyard was a mess. One corner of the fence had collapsed completely. A few vines had snapped, others tangled and twisted with broken stakes. The barn roof held, but just barely. Clara stood at the edge of the field and felt like crying. I can't do this, she muttered. I don't even know where to start. Bootsteps on mud behind her. Daniel. He wore a worn denim shirt, ball cap low, toolbox in one hand. No words, just presence. He nodded toward the fence. Start there? Clara nodded before her brain could catch up. They worked in silence for the first hour, cutting broken wire, resecuring posts, trimming away vine debris. The physical motion kept Clara from falling apart. But inside, she was unraveling. Lord, I'm doing everything I can. I'm showing up. I'm staying. I'm even journaling, for heaven's sake. So why does it still feel like I'm drowning out here? She didn't expect an answer, but she did notice Daniel quietly replacing the last fence panel without asking for help, as if he knew she needed space to wrestle. They sat on the tailgate when it was done, passing a thermos of lukewarm coffee between them. "I've seen worse," Daniel finally said. Clara raised an eyebrow. "You have?" He gave a dry chuckle. "Oh yeah, had a whole field flood once. Another burned when lightning hit the pump house. What we saw today, that's a setback, not an end." She looked at him, really looked. "You don't panic easily." "I used to," he said, "but I learned the vineyard doesn't respond to panic. It responds to care and patience, and knowing when to let go of the branches that won't come back." Clara stared down at her muddy boots. "That's the part I hate," she whispered, "the letting go." Daniel nodded. "Yeah, that's the part we all fight." They sat a while longer, sipping coffee and letting the silence carry the rest of the conversation. That night, Clara returned to her journal. She didn't write much, just one line. "Today I didn't fall apart. I let go, just a little, and you were still there." She closed the book gently, turned off the light, and whispered toward the darkness, "Thank you for fences, for second chances, and for whoever invented thermos coffee." Then she smiled, and the storm, both outside and in, finally began to pass. If this story spoke to your heart, I'd love for you to join me for the next episode. Subscribe to Laotong Publishing here on YouTube, and be the first to know when new episodes release, from The Widow's Vineyard and other faith-filled series from Grace and Love After 50. And if you know someone who needs a little hope today, feel free to share this with them. Stories are meant to be passed on. Until next time, may grace and love follow you always.